Hi, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Wang. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot to automatically generate code with AI. Whoa, why is it going automatically? That's weird. I did not do that on purpose. So, generating code with AI. Technologies have evolved, become intelligent enough now to generate code that can compile and run. Now, that being said, generated code still contains errors, but sometimes it can provide inspiring code, other times not so much. The biggest challenges right now in AI generated code are one, learning how you as a human can ask it to generate the right code, and two, catching and fixing the logical errors. We're going to take a look today at two different ways to generate the code. The first is ChatGPT. What's the difference between the two? Because you can use both to generate code. So ChatGPT is a chat interface, and then you get the code in the chat box, but you have to ask it questions, like human readable questions. You can also add the code that you might be feeding in as context, just actual code, like somewhere in there in the question you're going to ask. And ChatGPT, as you all know, is free to use. GitHub Copilot, on the other hand, is accessible via an IDE extension. So if you use like Visual Studio, VS Code, some JetBrains IDE like PHP Storm or IntelliJ IDEA, things like that, you can install GitHub Copilot on those. And then it generates the code for you directly inside your IDE. And for most people, it costs money, but I know there's some students here that can get it for free. And also, if your company pays for it, like Microsoft, then you get it for free as well. So, just ask for what you want and be as specific as possible. And if you don't get the response you're looking for, just press regenerate response. So here's a few examples. I know it's a little small. I'm really sorry about that, but I'm just going to try to read through it a little bit. So asking ChatGPT, for instance, to generate a fiscal year conversion function. So this is written to Microsoft's fiscal year of July to June, but that so happens to be Wikimedia Foundation's as well. So let's just go off of that, right? And I asked basically write some, oh man, I can barely see here. Wait, it's just continuing on for me. Oops. Create a C# function taking in a date time as a parameter, convert it into a fiscal year, and return the fiscal year and month for a company whose fiscal year runs from July to June. And it says, sure, here's a C# function that should do what you're asking for. And okay, I don't know why it's going on like automatically, but yeah. So you got year, month, if you're, greater than 7, whatever. And then it can suggest like, here's how you might use it, right? It'll be like a new date. Sorry, I don't know why it has a mind of its own. But yeah, it'll even explain, the function first checks the month of the given date is greater than or equal to July. If it is, then the fiscal year is the same year, blah, 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 blah. And then the function returns like a tuple of an int containing the fiscal year and month, things like that. So it even shows you an example of how to call it. And if you're writing a test case, you can just, you don't have to even specify what kind of tests you want. You can just say, hey, I want some test cases, and it'll provide those. Yeah. So some of the test cases include like the edge cases, like what happens if you put in July 1st? What happens if you put June 30th, right? And those are the things that you expect. And I believe this is written for like N unit, but I could also ask for it in like another test framework. And then continue that, we can ask it now to say, hey, like the code that you wrote, I don't actually like it. Let's change the business logic a little bit. So I say like change this function, the month between July and December, have the fiscal year as one greater than the calendar year, which is actually how Microsoft's work. So like right now, so like in July, we'll be in fiscal year 2024. And then I don't know why it's doing that. I'm so sorry. And then it says, hey, and I'm like, cool, that's exactly what we wanted. All right. If we wanted to, say, convert a Docker Compose manifest into Kubernetes, it's stupidly easy. We were actually working on this a few months ago for a client. And yeah, we just said, hey, manifest, can you convert it into Kubernetes? And we just have that. and then it spits out all of this. Does it run immediately? No, we had to make some changes, but that's what we're paid to do. There's that Stack Overflow joke, right? There's someone on Quora who asks, what do you call it? Why do software engineers get paid if Stack Overflow exists? And the answer is they get paid $1 to use Stack Overflow, to copy code from Stack Overflow, and they get paid $100,000 to know what code to copy. Same thing over here, right? You have to actually go in and be able to know what to do with it, because you should just be blindly copying from ChatGPT. It might hallucinate some stuff that doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't be too good. On the other hand, we can also use GitHub Copilot to generate code. You can get access via github.com/features/copilot. Like over here.
Just if you can talk directly instead of working away at the screen.
Just want to make sure that it's using the right microphone. Probably is, but oh wait, I'm sorry.
There's also a suggestion to go into slideshow and uncheck use timings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
All right, I'll stick closer to the computer. Sorry, I like to roam when I talk. Yeah, we have a lawnmower outside, which is not helping us at all. So, yes, yeah, I don't know why it's doing this.
If you're handling that, that's fine.
Okay.
Is it? Oh,
You know what? This is
unlicensed, so I can't.
Oh,
man,
I don't think that would be. I don't want to do that. Okay. That's just leave it off. Yeah.
One, two, don't worry.
Oh, I paid $20 for mine, but or 14. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm trying to. This was not supposed to take this long. Oh, come on. Now it's frozen. Great. I don't know if people can see it on Hopin, but
yeah,
they can.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can basically get the access via here. You can download an extension for VS Code, blah 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 blah. As I already told. It has context for code generation based on code already present in the project. So whatever you have in your IDE already, it's going to be able to read that. So for instance, you can describe the class here and let GitHub Copilot create it for you. So I just wrote here class complex number, and this is immediately, it just generated all of this. That's all I typed in the color. This all came together like by itself. I could also let GitHub Copilot come up with some tests. So, obviously it's maybe a little repetitive, but hey, these are tests that you could use, right? Here's an example that I took from a larger project. Here's part one. It's the original human written code. So this is what I called, a hash joiner. It's a C# implementation of a relational database join with specific definitions of join comparisons. So, oh, sorry.
Lawnmower guy.
Oh, the lawnmower person is singing outside. Sorry. Anyway, so we have two methods currently defined. One is get difference, and that's the equivalent of a left anti-join in SQL. And then and then we have a get intersection over here, which should look like an inner unique join in SQL. And it even says like, okay, the top operation is commutative and the bottom one is not commutative. Left side should be the probe input, right side should be the build input, things like that. Has comments. But now I wanted to create like a get unique union method. And with just wrote for get intersection, it already generates it in the same style. And it works. And if you're not sure if it works, well, shoot, I'm going to use X unit for my unit tests. I just say, hey, joiner test, make a fact, public void, whatever. And it induces that all for me. And you can test it out and you can see, hey, this is what it should be equivalent to. And then if I wanted more tests, I can stop. I can do this as well. What about GitHub Copilot Chat? So it's basically a superpowered combination of ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot that uses GPT-4. You can check it out at this link. I'm going to show you now a video of it, of what exactly it does.
This works
It's on Firefox
too.
Okay.
Works or not?
I'm going to change the screen to share here. And then I can share audio, right?
Yeah, make sure to check the share audio checkbox is selected at the bottom left.
Okay, got it. Cool. Let me just share the entire screen because it makes life easier. I don't think it's working on Firefox. Okay, don't look at that. Don't look at the LibreOffice thing. Don't look at it. I think for some reason you guys are seeing in the in-person presentation, seeing something different. You're seeing like a different screen, and that's not what I'm going for. No, I'm not trying to.
I'm just saying,
like, don't
download LibreOffice.
You should get PowerPoint instead. No,
but in all seriousness,
you guys, I already exited out. Here, let's do this. Let's just kill it off. Sorry, guys, this computer's having to. This is what happens when you don't
use it unlicensed.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, he switched to his HP now, so now it's giving problems. Unlicensed HP over there.
I'm so sorry,
everyone, for the inconvenience here. We have to get it working for both in person and online.
So a little bit about GitHub
Copilot X.
Are you able to see it on Hopin?
I'm seeing it backstage and I'm seeing.
Okay. All right.
Can you share it? Did you hold on.
Did share it,
but it's like but like the thing is we're hearing it.
No, the round one. Turn the round one on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should go pink, and then we should. Yep.
Okay, let's start over. Sorry, online people.
Copilot X is
is currently in only preview, but hopefully we can share with more people in the future. I can't scroll. Okay, well, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with this, but yeah, basically, yes, Copilot X is,
you can
use it
soon.
I think that was it for my presentation anyway. Entertain any questions. Yes, you're on.
What percent of the code you write these days would you say is AI generated?
What percent of the code I write these days is AI generated? It depends on whether I'm doing unit tests or like repetitive code. So I would say maybe 75% of my unit tests or more are actually generated with GitHub Copilot. And in terms of my code, not too much just yet. I would say maybe 25 to 35%. Yeah. But yeah, it's a huge productivity boost. Helps me go home earlier. Yeah. Any other questions? I know we're getting to the lightning talks now, so in the interest of time, I'll be happy to answer the questions in the stage. I'm really sorry.
But thank you, everyone.
And looking forward to the lightning talks.